In a small, bustling village nestled between golden fields and dense forests, there lived a young girl named Amara. She was known throughout the village for her radiant beauty and kind heart, but life had never been easy for her. Her mother had passed away when she was just a child, and her father, the village blacksmith, had remarried a woman with a heart as cold as the iron she wielded. Her stepmother, Binta, was a woman whose beauty matched her cruelty. She had skin as dark as midnight and eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian, but her soul was far from beautiful. She hated Amara, resenting her for the love her father still showed the girl. Every day, Binta made Amara's life a living hell, forcing her to do the hardest chores, while her own children, who were lazy and spoiled, were treated like royalty. Binta would order Amara to fetch water from the river at dawn, to sweep the village paths, and to tend to the fires in the blacksmith's workshop, even when she was sick. And whenever her father came home, Binta would smile sweetly, pretending to be the perfect wife, while hiding her true malice behind a veil of charm. One day, as Amara worked silently in the fields, tired and weak from a long day's labor, she heard an old woman's voice calling her name. "Child, why do you toil so hard under the sun?" the woman asked. Amara looked up, her heart heavy, but she replied, "My stepmother has cursed me to work without rest. She is cruel and heartless, but I do not know how to escape her grasp." The old woman's eyes twinkled, and she smiled kindly. "I know your pain, little one. I can help you, but only if you promise me one thing: never let hatred consume your heart, no matter how wicked she may be." Amara, desperate and with nothing left to lose, agreed. The old woman waved her hand, and in the blink of an eye, she vanished, leaving Amara with a golden necklace around her neck. From that day on, Amara's chores became easier. The heavy baskets of water and bundles of firewood that once burdened her now felt light as feathers. The animals she cared for grew healthy and strong, and the crops flourished under her gentle touch. But no matter how much she prospered, her stepmother's jealousy grew deeper. Binta, consumed by envy, tried everything she could to ruin Amara's newfound fortune. She ordered her own children to sabotage the work Amara had done, yet every time, the village would marvel at how the young girl's fortunes only grew brighter. The whispers of magic began to spread through the village, and soon, the people began to suspect that Binta was behind the evil that befell Amara. One evening, when Binta could no longer stand the sight of her stepdaughter's happiness, she took matters into her own hands. She went to the deep forest and sought the counsel of the Witch of the Woods, an ancient being known to twist fates and lives for a price. Binta begged, "Give me the power to destroy Amara once and for all." The witch, amused by her arrogance, agreed, but with a warning: power comes with a cost. "You shall take Amara's light, but it will drain your soul in return." Blinded by her hatred, Binta agreed. The witch waved her gnarled hand and gifted her a spell that would steal Amara's vitality and leave her as hollow as a dead tree. That night, Binta invoked the spell, and Amara fell into a deep, unshakable sleep. But as the spell took hold, something unexpected happened. Binta felt her body growing weaker, her heart growing colder. The magic that had stolen Amara's life force was also feeding on Binta's own soul. By the time Amara awoke, her stepmother was already withering, her once beautiful face now twisted and cracked, her body crumbling as though the weight of years had been placed upon her all at once. Amara stood over her, her eyes filled not with rage, but with sadness. "You could have loved me," Amara whispered. "You could have been the mother I needed. But instead, you chose this path." Binta's last breath escaped her lips, her body turning to dust in the wind. The village, seeing the consequences of her wickedness, mourned her passing, but only for the lost potential of a woman who could have been great. Amara, with the magic of the old woman's gift, restored balance to the land. She helped her father, who had long been blind to Binta's evil, find peace. And from that day on, Amara ruled with wisdom and kindness, a queen in a village where love and fairness reigned. Years passed, and the village prospered under Amara's rule. She had become not only a wise and just leader but a symbol of resilience and grace. Her beauty, once the source of envy and cruelty, had blossomed into something far more powerful. People came from distant lands to seek her counsel, and her father, now an old man, stood by her side, proud of the daughter he had once failed to protect. But despite the peace that now reigned, the shadows of the past lingered. In the heart of the forest, deep within the caves where the witch had once granted Binta's dark wishes, an ancient power stirred. The witch, though vanquished by the curse she had placed on Binta, had not truly died. Magic like hers could not be erased, it could only lie dormant, waiting for the right moment to rise again. One fateful night, the wind carried whispers through the trees, the kind that carry warning but also promise. The ground trembled as a figure emerged from the earth, cloaked in shadows. It was not Binta who returned, but something far darker. The witch's spirit, now freed from the chains of death, had returned to reclaim what she had lost. Amara had long thought the danger was over, but the witch's power was not so easily vanquished. With a cold heart and renewed malice, the witch sought to reclaim the magic she had bestowed upon Amara and twist it for her own twisted desires. One evening, while Amara walked alone by the river, a voice echoed from the woods, soft, inviting, yet filled with a venomous allure. "Amara, my child. I have come for what is mine." Amara's heart sank as she turned to face the trees. From the shadows, the witch emerged, her form shrouded in mist, her eyes glowing with unnatural light. "You thought you had defeated me," the witch sneered, "but magic does not die so easily. I have returned, and I will take what I deserve." Amara, knowing she could not face this foe with force alone, stood her ground, her eyes unwavering. "You may have come back, but you have forgotten one thing, I am not the weak girl you once tormented." The witch laughed, the sound echoing like 1,000 cackling voices. "You think your strength can match mine? I created the curse that ravaged your life, and now I will unmake you. You will be nothing, just as you were before." But Amara, remembering the old woman's words, remembered the true source of her power, her heart. The necklace that had once saved her from her stepmother's wrath gleamed brightly in the moonlight, pulsing with the light of 1,000 stars. "You are mistaken," Amara said, her voice calm but full of authority. "I may have suffered, but I have learned. I have learned that true power comes from within, from the love and light I have cultivated, not from dark magic." As the witch raised her hands to cast her spell, Amara's golden necklace began to glow brighter, its light filling the night sky. The witch screamed in agony as the light surged, pushing back the darkness that had once consumed her. The power of love, kindness, and forgiveness shattered the curse the witch had cast upon her long ago, and with one final scream, the witch dissolved into nothingness. With the witch's defeat, Amara returned to her village, stronger than ever. The people celebrated her victory, but she knew that the battle had not been won by strength alone, it had been won through the power of her heart, the light that had always been within her, even when she had been tormented by Binta's cruelty. Though she had been forced to endure pain and suffering, Amara had not allowed bitterness to take root in her soul. Instead, she had chosen compassion and justice, and it was this choice that had led her to triumph over darkness. In the years that followed, Amara continued to lead her village, but she did so with a deep understanding of the true nature of power. She built schools for the children, empowered women, and ensured that no one would ever again suffer the way she had under her stepmother's rule. And so, Amara's story became a legend, one that traveled across generations. It was a tale of redemption, of strength born from kindness, and a reminder that no matter how dark the night, the light of a pure heart would always shine through.